welcome once again to Velvet Owl Watches Movies, so you don't have to. We've got a special bonus Halloween episode. Maybe. Yeah, I haven't decided if there actually is going to be a bonus Halloween episode, so this might just be the regular episode. Because the regular episode's going to come out a few days before Halloween, so I might just push it to Halloween, or I might do a bonus episode, which I guess in that case, if I do a bonus episode, it won't be this one. It'll be the next one I record. Just mostly because I had to, just because of the summer, I had to basically eat up all the bonus episodes I have recorded. Well, not bonus episodes, but I try to be ahead. What are they called? There's something called for, like, in comic books when they have to, like, do an emergency, like, off month, and, like, they need to just kind of rush into, like, the drawer and have all the special stories that are just kind of there to eat up a month. Anyhow, I went through all of them, so I'm not, like, really fully ahead. So I don't know if I'll have time to really make a bonus Halloween episode. But I will try. So this won't be the bonus Halloween episode either way. It'll either be a regular episode or a regular episode on Halloween. We'll just have to kind of play along and see. Okay, so, like, I think everyone just kind of tuned out from that intro, and they're like, what the fuck? You're just being annoying now. We're not going to listen to this episode. Which I think is generally what happens for most episodes. People click on it, they like especially like on YouTube, they see the picture like, oh, let me see what they're talking about this movie. Okay, this guy's voice is annoying. Because the average listen time on YouTube is like 30 seconds. So, yeah. People aren't listening to these episodes. I like to pretend they are. So this week, once I read the description, I knew this had to be the one I do. It's called the Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre. And if that title isn't, like, insane enough, description is: a pair of brothers and washed-up professional wrestlers sign up for a midnight fight on Halloween that traps them in the ring with zombie rivals. That just sounds fucking amazing. And this is not to be confused with Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, which unfortunately I watched before I started this podcast. So by my own rules that I could break if I want, I will not be watching Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. Maybe I will, because it's been so long, I don't know if I remember. But Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies had, like, Roddy Piper and Matt Hardy and a couple other, like, professional wrestlers that I knew. Looking at least on the description of the cast list, I don't know any of these names except for Randy Couture. And he's not really a professional wrestler. He's an MMA fighter. And this is directed by Max Martini. Usually I don't, like, look up information about these films beforehand. So, but name Max Martini sounds familiar. I wonder if I've done one of his other movies. Looking up on Wikipedia, he played a corporal in Saving Private Ryan. I don't remember him at all, because I didn't really pay attention to that film. I did not like the film. I'm like one of three people that didn't really like Saving Private Ryan. Like, it was well made, but it was kind of just annoying and dumb. He was in the 50 Shades movies, which I did not see. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen anything he's been in. He was on an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, so there is a possibility that I've seen that. There's a possibility I've seen his episode. Boop, 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 boop. This is why I don't do... What the hell? Did he actually ever make anything? I don't see any credits for... Like, it says occupation, actor, writer, director. Man, Like, exactly. This is where, like, a normal person who did a professional podcast would be looking this information not while recording, and then find it out and bring it up to you. But, no, I am researching as I am recording this. I don't know why. I don't know why I now want to know what the fuck he's directed. Why do I know the name Max Martini? Oh, it could be like, I don't know, maybe I just caught one of his TV shows. He was in The Unit. I might have accidentally caught one of those shows. Yeah, director. He's directed this film, Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre. He's also directed Sergeant Will Gardner and Desert Sun. So yeah, I don't know why the fuck I know the name Max Martini. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Oh, there's a music producer named Max Martin. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, enough with this, like, rambling intro, and let me start watching this movie. So we start off in a trailer home, because of course we are. You know, dumb redneck hicks, they're the ones that like professional wrestling, which I'm offended. Because I like professional wrestling. I've loved it since I was like a kid. Seriously, like my first memory in life is my stepfather stealing a cable box so I could watch WrestleMania 5. It was fantastic. I fell asleep before Hogan versus Savage, and I cried because I missed that match, but it was fun time. It was kind of sad. But the rest of the show was fun. It was just sad that I missed the match I wanted to see. Which, I mean, obviously I have seen it in the years since. And it's actually a pretty good match. But anyhow, my point is that it's not just like redneck hillbilly hicks who watch wrestling. But, so we got this redneck hillbilly hick he's shirtless. Because of course he is. And he's got his feet in buckets of ice. I don't know, I guess it's just very hot. Anyways, he's arguing with his woman about, well, she's mad because he's mad because, I don't know, they're just mad at each other, and she's complained that, you know, she could have married this other guy who her husband thinks like, oh, he's fruity booty. He's not really a doctor. He's a fruity booty. Hey, their words, not mine. And then their son comes in, and he's got a comic book. Comic book about the Manson brothers. And Dad tells him, like, be really careful, because it's issue number 1. It's going to be collector thing. But then he opens up the comic. Okay, so you're worried about, you know, like, it's going to be, like, a collector's item, and then you open it? No! If you're, like, collector type, you put that shit right into a Mylar bag, wrap it up, and store it in some, like, safe room temperature room. But you're a dick if you do that. I'll come out and say it. Comic books were made to be read, just like toys were made to be played with. Take that shit out of the box, play with it, read it while you play with yourself, whatever. You do it. It's like, seriously, I wish I had the kind of money to blow that I could buy, like, a copy of Action Comics #1, and I would just videotape myself reading it. Just opening it out of its packaging and reading it, and then flipping off the camera like, fuck you. And there'd just be, like, a meltdown among collectors. Except for whoever owned the second most valuable comic, because they'd be like, all right, I'm #1 now. But so, Dad knows about the Manson brothers. They were, like, the evil tag team. And they basically killed their opponents in their first match. And it's true, like, the paramedics are there, like, trying to use the AFib on them. Wait, is it AFib or DFib? Whatever, the thing that shocks them. And the wrestler who's laying down on the ground dead, he's got a boner. So at least he died happy. And then the Manson brothers, like, cut. I don't know, like, what, like, era the Manson brothers are supposed to be from. Because if the dad in modern times Watched them as a kid. It's got to be like 80s, but it looks more 70s. Like, it's got like the 70s style of studio wrestling with, yeah, like if you're, I don't know how familiar you are with professional wrestling, but 70s studio, it was like a certain style. And that's what this reminds me of, like 70s era NWA. It's like the old World Championship Wrestling show. Before World Championship Wrestling was a company, it was a TV show. Look it up, kids. I am not doing your homework for you. Now, the Manson brothers are backstage. The promoter is complaining about something, and I think he just doesn't want to give them money. And so the Manson brothers and the tag team they're wrestling have to come up with a finish, and the one guy from the other team is all like, "Hey, we should be winning." But then the other guy, who kind of looks like Mike Bennett, between a mix of Mike Bennett and Kenny from the Spirit Squad, and he understands the game. Like, sometimes you have to lose. It's your job as a professional wrestler. Well, the Manson brothers are like, this guy gets it. And one of the Manson brothers kind of looks like Adam Cole. If Adam Cole were like tall, had actual muscle mass, and could grow like facial hair. So I'm calling that Manson brother the Cole Manson. Actually, that's got a kind of good ring to it. The Cole Manson. So it's time for the big match. The Manson brothers are walking down the hallway. First, they pass by a kid that's called El Chorizo. And when I say kid, I just mean kid because he's like tiny, not his age, because he seems to be a legal adult. He's just very small, and there's no chance of him getting into the business because, this is back in the day when you actually had to look tough to get into the business. Nowadays, you could be like 90 pounds soaking wet and become a professional wrestler. I won't name names, but if you know, you know. There are a lot of them. And El Chorizo got his nickname because that's what his mom packs him in his lunch. Which is quite sweet of her, actually, that she would pack his lunch and give him chorizo. I fucking love chorizo. It is some good shit. I wish my mom packed me a lunch with chorizo in it. But anyhow, the Manson brothers keep walking, and I thought at first some ring rats ran up to them, but no, it's their women, girlfriends or wives. I'm not 100% sure. I think just girlfriends at this point. They're not married, and good luck, kisses all around, and it's time for the match, which I will say I've seen worse. I've seen worse matches. And I will move on, and it ends in a double disqualification, which has the crowd chanting, "Rematch! Rematch!" Which is the fucking thing you want when you're a wrestler. You want the crowd to be salivating at the thought of another match with you that they will pay money to see. That is the goal, and that is what the Manson brothers do, and apparently they're very good at it. And of course the promoter is loving this. He's like, fuck yeah, rematch. I'm going to make a fuck ton of money on a rematch. So before the guys can even really get backstage, announcer announces, next Saturday on Halloween night, it's going to be a cage match. Now, unfortunately of the opponents, one of them got his legs broken because bald Manson brother was like, fuck you, you're being an asshole. So it's going to be a mystery partner. And unfortunately, bald Manson brother, he's not too keen on the idea of doing a cage match on Halloween at midnight. He must be really superstitious. But Cole Manson is trying to tell him, we gotta do this. It's a fucking huge payday. And meanwhile, one of the other wrestlers / drug dealers, I'm not quite sure what he is. He's doing a lot of drugs and seems to offer to sell them to the other guys, but I think he's also a wrestler. So, one of them is his side hustle. I don't know if he's a drug dealer and he's wrestling as a side hustle, or if he's a wrestler and he's side hustling as a drug dealer. Much like during the 90s in WWF, there was a big thing of like every wrestler had like a second job. There was like a plumber and a garbage man and a tax agent. And I never understood if they were wrestlers who had to take a second job or if they were like people from the other profession who took a second job as wrestler. Anyhow, the drug dealing wrestler, he starts explaining the origins of the phrase "cry uncle," which involves some guy getting mad at his parrot who won't say uncle. Yeah, I don't know if it's a true story or not. I don't really care all that much. But so the Manson brothers are talking because, you know, Bald Manson is still like unsure, like, oh, I don't like the idea. And also apparently he never realized that he's half Mexican. Which he doesn't look half Mexican, so in fairness, he doesn't look half Mexican or any part Mexican. So I can understand if he looked in the mirror and said, like, I'm a white guy. But, you know, apparently there's things like, his name is Carlos. Which again, not necessarily. But apparently their mom was very Mexican. So you kind of have to use some context clues and like, our mom is very Mexican. That means I'm at least half Mexican. Context clues, people. Context clues. Now there's this fat guy who's going around and he's selling everyone steroids that seem to be tainted because he's been taking them himself. And what happened? Oh, little brain freeze there. So he's been taking them himself, and now he suddenly doesn't feel so well, and he becomes a zombie. A zombie on steroids. Okay, I'll give this movie credit on that. That's actually like kind of a interesting new twist. Tainted steroids turning people into zombies. So he attacks the one dude, the one opponent, the opponent that was still healthy enough. And luckily, like, this Mike Bennett guy, who's wearing tassels like the Ultimate Warrior, which looks kind of silly because he's not very, like, muscular, so these tassels just look really... He just looks like a little kid. So, but luckily he's able to kill the fat zombie before he dies. So, the zombie invasion is over, right? Aside from the other people who've probably taken these tainted steroids. Oh no! The steroids! So, I don't know. I guess this film has like a very strong anti-steroid message. That's what it's all about. Kids, don't do steroids or you might turn into a zombie. So Cole Manson, he walks into this like occult shop. Or trinket shop, I don't know. It's a very spooky shop. And he's just looking to buy something cool. And the old gypsy woman shows him special luchador masks. And they're free. I gotta say, and I know this might make me sound racist, but if a gypsy woman is giving you something for free, and she says it in a very spooky voice, reconsider. And I mean, it's really not just Romani women. Is it Romani or Romani? Yeah, I shouldn't say gypsy. But it's not just them. Really, anyone who gives me like a free luchador mask and says it in a very creepy voice, I have to reconsider. Like, is there something about this mask? But Cole Manson, he's like, well, I don't have to spend money, and these would be awesome because we're wrestling on Halloween. Woo! And later he's getting a massage from his woman and talking on the phone to his therapist, who's been helping him get through anger management issues. Which is good, because, you know, wrestlers are pretending to be angry. It's not good if they're actually angry while they're doing the wrestling and have the potential to injure their opponents. You don't want that. Just pretend anger. And but bald Manson, he's not so sure about like the luchador masks. But his woman tells him like it'll be good. And so they're watching the news, and apparently a big storm's headed their way. It's actually two storms merged into one. But the Manson brothers are like, yeah, fake news. You're going to come to regret that. The storm is going to come and be bad. And so, of course, the superstorm hits. But it hasn't affected people's desire to go see some good old-fashioned wrestling. Backstage, Cole... What was the last name of these guys? Cole Manson is... Fuck me. I've lost my train of thought so many times. Cole Manson is playing cards with the mystery partner of the opponent team. And I don't know, that luchador mask seems to be giving good luck because he keeps winning hand after hand after hand easily. Way too easily. And the opponent, the mystery partner, he's just upset. Like, grr, grr. Now, if you remember, the other partner got killed by a zombie. So no one knows where he is. No one's heard from him. So they have to go and find someone else to fill in. And that person is the champion from a rival organization. And, you know, the Manson brothers, you know, they would have liked the heads up. And, you know, they're kind of pissed because this guy comes in and gets his own dressing room and gets tons of money. Fuck tons of money. Now, El Chorizo, who's dressed like a chorizo, Halloween costume, I think, or maybe it's his wrestling gear, but he's working the door and he has to take these rich assholes to the VIP section. Unfortunately, El Chorizo also partook of the tainted steroids, and now he's a zombie. And he eats the rich assholes. And it's one of those cases where I cheer for the zombie because fuck those assholes. Fuck them good. Fuck them up. Eat, zombie. Eat them. Grr. So the big wrestling star from the other company shows up. And he kind of looks like a white Kal Penn. Kumar from the Harold and Kumar movies. But there's so much more to him than just the Harold and Kumar movies, so I'm going to give him the respect to call him Kal Penn. Even though this actor has nothing to do with Kal Penn. But my respect to Kal Penn. He is more than just Kumar. But so, white Kal Penn comes and, you know, they're busting each other's balls with the other wrestlers. Like, it's not quite as bad as I was expecting for, you know, the big star to come into town and just be a complete asshole. And he is an asshole, but it wasn't as bad as I would think. But the promoter's worried because, you know, the storm is just getting worse and they've leashed an emergency message that everyone needs to hunker down. Which I think, you know, well, at least the fans that are there are going to stay there. They're going to hunker down in the venue. But then there's more problems because one of the other wrestlers, the one who I thought was a drug dealer, he's been taking the tainted steroids too, so now he's feeling sick and even bit one of the other wrestlers. But he hasn't fully turned into a zombie yet, and I don't know if that's because, like, he's probably spent his entire life doing steroids, so, you know, it doesn't affect him as bad, or maybe because they said he did the entire batch of steroids. So maybe that's the key. You just have to take a lot of them, and it slows down the zombie transformation. Because of the weather, and since people can't get there, aside from the people that already are there, because I did see some people go there, plus before the event they had like a you could take pictures inside the steel cage type shit. So there has to be people already there, but I guess the majority of people haven't shown up. So the promoter is canceling it because he's canceling the show because, you know, people can't get there. So what about the people that are already there? They get nothing? Like, at least, like, a simple match? Like, okay, maybe don't blow your wad with the cage match in front of, like, 10 people. But they deserve something. They got out in this storm to come see you. And, of course, like, the wrestlers are upset because, if they don't perform, that means they're not getting paid because they're getting a cut of the gate. This is old school territory wrestling. Back before they had guaranteed contracts for wrestlers, you made a percentage of how much ticket sales were. So, understandably, the wrestlers are upset, but what are you going to do? And the big star from the other organization, he just wants to leave since he's not getting paid, but, there's no way to get in or no way to get out because of this storm. And already in is this little person with a massive gun. And I say little person because I'm not going to say the M word because that's offensive. And Lord knows I've already said enough offensive things. But I also never feel comfortable calling them dwarves. And especially, like, a dwarf is a very specific type of little person. Like, it's someone who has dwarfism. And I'm not going to, go and guess if this guy has dwarfism or not. So he's a little person with a big gun. And at first I thought he was Hornswoggle, but I don't see this film listed on Hornswoggle's IMDb. Internet movie double penetration. Oh yeah. I bet you thought I wasn't going to work my signature oh yeah into this episode. I didn't either. But yeah, I checked whatever his name is, his IMDb page, and this movie's not listed on there, so it must be some other little person. So now I feel like a racist for assuming, like, okay, a little person in a wrestling movie has to be Hornswoggle. But he really did look like Hornswoggle. But anyways, he's got a gun because Cole Manson, he owes a lot of money because he's got a gambling addiction. And they managed to talk the little person into putting the gun away and not shooting them. But Bald Manson's kind of like, yo, bro, so this is why you jumped at this match. Like, dude, we gotta talk about this. And then they hear a noise, like some screaming, so they go to check what's going on. I'm betting some zombies are eating people. And I was right. Zombies eating people. Or one zombie eating one person. And it's the wrestler from earlier who took all the steroids. He's finally turned and was eating some guy I don't really recognize. And the sight of this is enough to give the little person a heart attack, so he's dead. And then zombie dude attacks them, but Bald Manson puts him in a choke lock and snaps his neck. Which I was not aware that this is a way to kill zombies. Granted, it's probably a very dangerous way to kill zombies, to snap their neck, because especially in a chokehold, because they could easily bite you. But in this case, it works. And as Cole Manson points out, now he doesn't have to pay off his debt. So, lucky, because he's probably still got that lucky luchador mask. It truly is luck. Oh boy! It's the only way they're going to survive. Now, Bald Manson's wife comes, saying, hurry, we got to run down to the cage. Something's wrong with one of the wrestlers. And they're like, okay, but, we've got all these dead bodies piled up. But don't worry about that. We'll just figure all this out later. So they run down to the cage where the black wrestler, did I mention he was black? The one from earlier that got bit. Now he's turning into a zombie. And the doctor there can't figure out what's going on. Like, hey, what's going on? He seems sick, and I can't explain it. And then more of the wrestlers, they're also turning into zombies. And some of the audience members, who have been probably sitting around waiting for some fuck thing to happen, some of them turn zombies. And they all start fighting and eating each other. And unfortunately, Cole Manson's wife has also turned into a zombie. So he puts her out of her misery by smashing her over and over with a ring bell. And it's heartbreaking. He had to do it because he loves her too much. He can't let her be a zombie. So the zombies have wreaked havoc, and they're running through the halls and chasing after some of the wrestlers who haven't turned into zombies yet, and it's a big clusterfuck. And I've just stopped giving a shit. I don't know who's doing what to who. Who cares? There was just a lot of pointless, just very generic zombie fighting shit. I did think Randy Couture was about to hit a German suplex on a zombie, and I got excited for like 30 seconds, like, holy shit, that's going to be awesome. But he didn't hit it. He just kind of turned it into like a side slam, and it's like, it would have been much cooler if it were a German suplex. And then gunshot goes off, and they think that Bald Manson has been hit, and he thinks he's dying, so he admits to his brother that one time when he got him an Asian hooker, and when he mentions the Asian hooker, like the soundtrack goes ding 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 ding, because the movie had to go there. Because at this point of the movie, they're like, you know what, you've actually sat for over an hour of this shit. We don't care. You don't care, obviously. So we'll just throw some racist jokes in there. And it turned out that the Asian hooker was actually a man. Oh, no. And then the doctor's like, oh, wait. The gunshot did not hit Bald Manson. You're gonna live. Which Cole Manson's like, okay, I could have probably forgiven you if you were dying, but you're alive. So I will probably have to kick your ass later for that. So the doctor quickly surmises that, there was something in these tainted steroids, and now it's spreading from everyone, and, being bitten's gonna get you the disease, and you'll turn too. And then, unfortunately, Bald Manson's wife, she got scratched. We don't know how bad the severity of it was, because then the evil champion from the other federation that looks like Justin Theroux, he shoots the wife right in the head. He's like, she was going to turn. I couldn't take that chance. And a lot of anger. Because obviously, you fucking asshole, you got to wait to see, how bad it is first. If it's a tiny scratch, she might be okay. But then Bald Manson puts on his lucha mask. He's like, it's better work. And Justin Theroux shoots him, and the bullet just bounces off of him because, the magic powers of the lucha mask. And then a zombie, comes and, attacks Justin Theroux. And they run into a room, and hopefully Justin Theroux gets eaten, but we don't get to see. So, since we don't see it, general rule of thumb is anything that happens off screen probably isn't what you think happened. So, unfortunately, they are locked inside the building, and the doctor's like, oh no, we're locked in with them. And Bald Manson says, no, they're locked in here with us. And fuck yeah, rallying cry, come on, Manson brothers, fuck those zombies up. So it looks like the only ones left non-zombified are the Manson brothers, the doctor, and the referee, who managed to hide away from all the zombies underneath the ring. And so they get in steel cage, and they're like, okay, we're protected right now, but how are we going to get out of this? And that's why when they come up with the plan, okay, we'll open the steel cage door, and the Manson brothers will distract all the zombies, allowing the referee and doctor to escape, and then something, they'll trap the zombies in the cage. But unfortunately, the Manson brothers put on their lucha masks to get ready, and they let the zombies in, and the zombies all ignore them and go straight for the doctor and the referee. Wah wah! So they figure, oh, what the fuck, we'll just go with the second part of the plan anyhow. And they run out, and they lock all the zombies in the steel cage. Alright! Except there's one zombie wrestler still left outside. And so Cole Manson beats him and chokes him out and kills him or something. Again, I'm at the point where I'm just counting down the minutes. I think I've got 10 minutes left in this film. And that's 10 minutes too much. I'm hoping that there's 5 minutes of credits. Now, Evo Justin Theroux, champion from the other wrestling company, shows up. Told you he wasn't dead. If you don't see him get killed on screen, that means he survived for the last minute reveal, like, oh, surprise. But, you know, Bald Manson, he's still pissed off because this guy killed his wife. So they fight, and he snaps the guy's neck. Hooray! Good guys win! Even though they're the bad guys within the actual wrestling storylines. But that just goes to show, you know, wrestlers aren't really their personas. You know, they might be a heel on television screen, but in real life, they might just be like the nicest persons around. And so they're ready to leave the building because I guess the storm's over. But before they can, one more zombie! Oh no! And I don't recognize this zombie, but Bald Manson is really pissed off at him and really wants to kill him. And so I don't know if this is like someone from earlier, or is it just the fact that this zombie has his fucking zombie dick just hanging out? Like, just think, what was he doing before he turned into a zombie that his dick was hanging out? Okay, maybe he was like using the bathroom, which is okay, so I guess that's understandable. But still, fucking zombie dick. And Bald Manson really wants to kill him, but Cole Manson shoots the dick off and then shoots the zombie in the head. And, you know, they're good, happy ending, and then they walk out of the building, and oh no, just a horde of zombies. But that's okay. They put on their lucha masks, and they're ready. And then the kid closes the comic book. Oh yeah, remember that framing device? It was a kid reading the comic book while his dad was telling him the story. Like so I'm not sure. Like, is he actually reading the comic, or he's just listening to his dad and kind of going along with? Because his dad's like on the other side of the room, so it's not even like his dad is like there reading the comic to him. The kid has the comic in his hands while his dad's telling the story. So, but the kid wants to know, was this the end of the Manson brothers? And Dad's like, no. And he brings out the second issue of the comic, and the Manson brothers are going to be fighting hot satanic chicks with big tits. Well, big jugs, as the way the dad describes it. But, damn it, why can't I watch that movie? Because I'm sure it would be as terrible, but at least there'd be the hot satanic chicks with big tits. Because you know that movie's not going to get made. And it shouldn't get made. But anyhow, for those who haven't like listened before and need the rundown, velvetal@hotmail.com, or leave a comment on the YouTube section. Tell me if there's a movie you want me to watch so you don't have to. Maybe I'll get around to it. If I ever get listener mail, I will read it. Till then, I love you guys.